I'm David Cameo, and we are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, but most times we go deep. Not much to say in terms of housekeeping, although all the cosplay entries have been submitted, cutoff has been reached, and we are excited to bring the voting booths, make the voting booths available for you shortly. You'll only be able to do one vote in our Spooky Squawktober cosplay contest. Make it count. It's going to be a ranked choice voting, so you're going to be voting in. You're going to be putting your faves in the order in which you like them. We'll be giving you more details on that in the coming days, probably making the voting available around the weekend for you to vote on the best cosplays submitted throughout the week. You know, in case you don't have time on the weekend, you could do it during the week, you could do it in the evenings, but you'll only be able to do it once. I mean, you'll be able to do it plenty of times, but we'll only accept the first vote. I'm very, very, very psyched to bring that to you and to make it worth your while as well. Wink, 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 wink. Anyway, we're bringing to you today the Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 season premiere coverage. I hope you enjoy it very much. We really hammered down many points. It was quite the season premiere. Some mixed reviews you'll see initially. Oh, but hey, Ashley. Hey, Sharondy. So yeah, I can't wait to show you what we've got in store. So why don't I just do that? Without further ado, here is the episode coverage. Oh, and hey, I've been meaning to work on the intro for this. I'm still using the intro from Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, so don't be triggered by some characters that you don't see anymore. Sorry. But I still like the music.
We're dealing with somebody else now.
We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh a lot, but most times we make deep. Hadouken!
Is it too late to quit?
You must make deep with us.
You must
can't
make
quit.
deep.
No. On every account. No.
It is too late. You are contractually obligated to make deep.
Obligated.
I quit.
Obligatial. Anyway, today we are talking about the season premiere of season 7 of Fear the Walking Dead.
Whoop.
Okay, let's speak honestly here. Does it feel like it was that long ago that we had the season finale of Fear the Walking Dead season 6?
Nope.
Are we in hell?
Did we even have a break? Was there a break at any point in time?
Like,
Did we have a...
It's like 2 months and a couple weeks.
Oh.
Or was it? Yeah.
Well, it kind of makes sense because Strand said it was like 50 days since the nuclear attack. So 2 months and some days.
Well, Will says he's been outside for 50 days.
Right.
That doesn't...
Right. 'Cause there's no way.
Right.
There's no way they grew all that stuff on that roof in 50 days. I'm sorry.
True.
Nope.
All right, you know what? I was reaching here.
This is our first point of clarification.
It has been like 4 months since the last Fear because it ended in June. It was the end of May because they didn't show...
Oh, yeah.
6/14. They skipped 6/14 because of
Memorial Day.
So, and that was 6/14 while we were at camp. So it's been 4 months since Fear.
God, what did we do in the meantime? Interviews?
Contests.
Birthday videos.
Here's the crazy thing is that like we have been busy ever since. Like we barely had a break at all. What?
Well, I mean,
fresh
Walking
hell is
Dead
this?
Because we've been doing Walking Dead for 2 months.
Yeah. Well, two of those 4 months is that what we said? Okay. And then what? So let's talk about the 2 months. What did we do with the 2 months?
Contests,
We did
trivia, interviews.
Jenna, Mo.
Oh. Okay, I remember now. Yeah. Besides the interviews, I moved.
Oh, yeah. You were moving.
Yeah. That's right.
Dave needs a vacation. Stat. There are a couple things I want to cover before we continue. One, I got a very cool comment from one of our listeners for quite a while now, Lydia S. And she had told us in the, I don't know if it was Damage on the Inside video on YouTube. I actually might link to the comment itself, but she talks about our false assumption of Alicia having two St. Christopher medallions. We are absolutely wrong. Alicia loses the medallion in the midst of the Walker attack in Ed Gaines' place.
Buck's Landing.
I knew you guys would know. I trust you, my friends. You have to believe in your friends. Can't lead alone. So Alicia loses it in the midst of that tumble Walker, just that fight with Ed and the Walkers come in and everything. And she loses it. You can briefly see her lose it, which is why it's on a Walker body later. I'll try to put the screen grab. But this goes to show that like it happens so fast and it should have been clearer. And sometimes we see things like this on these shows where moments get undercut. They should have spent a little bit more time on something, a look, a feeling, a facial expression, or
a little shot of
it,
like a shot of it on the ground real quick, and then back to what was going on. Yeah,
just something so that we know.
A
clink, even exactly a sound to let us know that it fell,
or just holding on it for just a few seconds.
Yep.
No, none of that. I will post it and I will put it in the blog to this post because it's relevant.
Awesome.
It's relevant to this episode,
Eagle
and actually
eye.
makes a lot more sense. Given this episode, it's like, okay, it does kind of reframe a little bit of what we were thinking about. Oh, let's fuse 2 Christopher medallions, and then we'll make a giant Christopher medallion. Yeah, guys, that's the 2 keys in the sub. Oh my god,
we sounded like such idiots for so long.
The 2 keys to the sub, the 2 Christopher medallions. It's all making sense. Oh my god, we're so stupid.
See, this is why people need to rate us and comment how wrong we are. I love it.
Exactly.
Please.
And Lydia set us straight. And no malice, they should love the episodes. She just saw something that we didn't.
That's awesome.
That all 5 of us didn't. That's cool. But it goes to show 5 pairs of eyes, wherever it is, and we all didn't see it, which says something. So there you go. And then hopefully the 4 pairs of eyes we have here today, plus the people in the audience and the unedited episode recordings, that's why we do this. They can see the different angles that one another, either fails to see. We don't have time to make people see or whatever. We only have so much time to actually record these episodes. And so much time to actually get the notes for these episodes too. So
that's right.
Case in point.
2 hours today.
Yeah, me too. Oh my god. I barely saw it last night. I'm going to tell you, I've been making myself crazy. I don't sleep. I'm going to tell you this openly. I don't sleep until like after 4 every morning. For like, I don't know how long it's been. But doing stuff and then just setting it up so it posts throughout the day and whatnot. So all that stuff takes me till 4. Editing, 4 in the morning. But, I do that. And then, I'm done with work like around, I try to end at 6. And then I'm like, okay, let's skedaddle on the AMC Shit Plus app, which I'm hoping I can hack at some point to kind of work correctly, fucking thing, and then get notes.
I'm sick of this whole thing that they've been doing for a couple years now where they focus like 1 episode on this character, 1 episode on that character. I miss the days where we would see a third of the episode be about these characters, a third of, because, all right, so episode 1 was Strand. Say we don't see Strand again until like episode 4. I'm old. I'm going to forget what happened in episode 1. Like,
she's the youngest here.
I'm the baby here, but I'm still going to forget.
It's definitely not age.
No, it's just, I just have an old woman brain. It's just Meg. It's just Meg. I'm going to admit to that. Like, yeah, okay, we needed to know what Strand was up to. So, but just as a premiere, it wasn't strong. If it was a second, like episode 2, I would have no problem with it. However, I will say, having this kind of solidify that Strand is the big bad, top notch.
Interesting. So you had almost the same critique as the ladies for The Walking Dead World Beyond season 1, in a sense, because it wasn't a big blowout-y, shit's happening all over the place, but also the fact that we're not focusing on more than just the one character, which means that they're not just continuing the trend from season 6. Because that was actually intentional. Season 6, the way they filmed it was intentionally dual character focused. So, because I know you only just binged the whole damn season
I literally just did.
Which is good to remind the audience that was intentional.
It was intentional.
Yeah. And so I wasn't sure if you knew that going into it.
Yes.
Okay.
I did. But
you still didn't like it or whatever.
I didn't care for it. I mean, if it was like a half season thing and then, they reunite halfway through, I would have gotten it. But obviously they didn't reunite. Look back in season 2. Travis was at... Was it Travis? Yeah. His name was Travis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Travis. Because I always get Cliff Curtis and Travis Manawa
I was getting
up.
confused. What was his son's name?
Chris. Manawa.
Psycho.
See? I get them all confused. Psycho, very appropriate. So you had Christopher with those psycho kids on the truck with the, killing chickens. But then you saw Medicine doing this. You saw Strand doing this. You saw Ophelia doing whatever. So you had everybody doing their own thing, and they were separated, but they still made it work.
You know what's so funny about what you're saying right now is that the critique that most people have on season 2, like, which is
okay, granted, season 2 was horrible. Granted.
Yeah, that's the reason why people didn't like it. First of all, that people were so separated, and so the stories were so insular in that respect, but they kept trying to follow them in every episode too. You pull a little this way, you upset these people. You pull a little that way.
You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. There is no, you can't please everyone.
Although let's do a counterpoint, because I mean, look, your criticisms are valid, but I just to counterpoint. A, they didn't have the pandemic. B, so COVID filming, all that stuff. Because it does make it easier when you're just focusing on a couple characters.
Of course.
But wait. Second thing is, it kind of makes sense to double down on the anthology thing to the point where you're like, okay, we're not just focusing on 2 people. We're kind of focusing really on the 1 plus 1.1. Like, Will is like the 0.1 and Strand is really the 1. Because you're like, now we're talking about nuclear fallout, isolation. We're not just in a zombie apocalypse. We're in a nuclear zombie apocalypse, right?
Right, and these walkers, you don't know if they're contaminated too.
Yeah, well, yeah, on top of like everything being vaporized and So you get a built-in mood along with your built-in cinematography style, which is, I can't imagine how much this shit's cost because of all the setup for each scene. So
yeah,
it felt expensive, like especially when Will was like traveling in the woods and you see the burning trees, and I'm like, this shit cost a lot of money to do. The ever burning trees. Oh, I love that.
I will say them riding through that burned down trees. It reminded me of that episode in season 10 of Walking Dead with the fire in the woods
from the satellite crash.
Yes, that's right. I feel like they went a little harder because they were hollowed out. The fire was pouring out of the tree holes too. It was great.
Yeah. Well, also in the Walking Dead, you had the greenery of the scene. This is just
black.
Like about almost 20 years ago, where I live, there was a really bad fire, like a forest fire, and it actually jumped like the major highways, and they shut down traffic and everything. Still to this day, half of those trees have never grown back. So you drive past that area, it looks very similar to what we saw tonight, but just multiplied trees.
No Jersey.
Welcome to Jersey.
Wow.
Did you notice in the scene when Will was riding through the burning trees, he stopped and was looking around, and the tree that was directly to his left looked just like the beacon. It was shaped like the beacon. Even the layers of the tree look just like the beacon that they find later.
Oh.
I didn't notice it, actually. Well, I only watched it twice.
Let's start with the positives. The colors in this episode
Yes.
were amazing. Holy shit. How we'd go from green to yellow to orange to blue and then back to orange, and oh my god, it was beautiful to look at. I mean, I could watch the whole thing with no sound on and be entertained. It was beautiful.
Okay, remember season 4, season 5, people criticizing the color grading.
Yeah.
It works totally here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like they figured out the right chemistry.
Yeah.
For this. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. That being said, I went into this knowing it was just going to be Strand. So I went into it kind of going, all right,
clenching your butthole? Or?
Yeah, I did. I was clenching my butt watching this one because I knew we weren't going to see anybody else. And yes, that irritates me. I do agree with Meg in that respect. But I told myself going into it I wasn't going to see anybody else, and so what I expected happened.
So you're saying had you not known, it would have been like what the fuck?
See, I went in blind.
I would have felt like I did for World Beyond 201. Kind of. Just sort of lackluster,
So you did exactly what you said you would do. You would temper expectations.
Absolutely. Lower them down, and then I'll be ready.
Look at you. I'm impressed.
How long have I been telling Strand to just play your role? Just be who you are. How long have I been saying this? Years I've been saying Strand is a bad guy. Just be a bad guy. And he is. He heard me. He's finally listening.
Yes, Coleman read your tweets. Yeah. He saw your theories. Yes. And he went, guys, showrunners, we need to be evil this season.
Yep.
I don't want to let Rachel down.
Yep. Ooh, that was good.
I've been practicing to myself. We have to play it up for her.
Make your voice a little deeper and you got it.
I can't. It's impossible. I'm a natural tenor.
How my voice can be deeper than yours? Like, what is this?
Because his vocal cords are only this long.
Yours.
This is true. This is true.
You should see me when I wake up in the morning. Hey, froggy voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a lot more to say throughout the episode, but overall, I liked it.
Yeah, there's like a 2/3 like, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and tempered expectations, so that factors in. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Now let's see what Sharon D has to say.
Considering that it was only Strand, I actually really liked it. Yeah, I know. I don't mind.
How am I outnumbered here?
I don't mind the anthology style. Granted, I have to wait 3, 4, 5 episodes to see the characters I really care about, but I like that it kind of lets us get deeper with these characters instead of breaking it up over the episodes. You know, we get a deep
which
look
is like
at
the exact
character
opposite
right
of what Megs was saying. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, that's just me. And I like last season, everybody was like, "Oh, we're only gonna get one character per episode," but you don't, because eventually they
merge.
They huddle up here and there.
I mean, they weave all the stories together. Like you see Al and Dwight in this episode, and then they're 2 episodes later, they're in there because now they're with Morgan, and Morgan's here. And so, I mean, yes, for the first couple episodes, you have to deal with a single or 2 characters, whatever. But eventually, they're all gonna come together. I mean, by episode 4 or 5, most everybody was in an episode. You know what I mean? Of last year. As much as I dislike Strand, it was an entertaining episode.
Maybe especially because he kind of just leaned in to what we...
Although that was what I wanted. I wanted June to be this. I mean, this is what I wanted June this year. So I'm a little disappointed in that too. But...
And Jenna's kind of like going, "What, Sharon D? We've had this conversation before." Come on, man.
It would be fun. It would be fun to see her just go badass.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just me.
Look, I just want to clarify. It was a good episode. I'm not saying it wasn't. It just wasn't worthy of being a premiere.
Which is what Rachel said last time too. Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of like last season. The premiere was Morgan. It was just Morgan. Remember? I mean, it was Morgan and Isaac.
Which, oddly enough, I mean, I know you're making vomit noises, Meg, but for the audio podcast, it's just purely for them. I am your
vomit noises here.
I'm your audio transcription people. Okay, so that episode, for whether it starred Morgan or not, Emil was the thing, Isaac, introducing Isaac, whatever it was, that episode converted a lot of OGs over to the new kind of narrative that was going on. So, I mean, look, you lose some people, you gain some people, but overall, that you turn some heads, some old heads that kind of went, middle finger, Andrew and Ian and Andrew, middle finger. A lot of people kind of caught on to that. Not everybody, not Meg, but not Meg.
Look, I'm still watching it, okay, because I'm in it. I've been in it for 7 years now. Yeah. I'm staying with it.
Oh, she's like hate watch now.
well, no, obviously I'll never forget
it's a mixed relationship.
The whole Madison thing, but I was telling the girls before we started, I had this theory, and I can't remember if it's a theory that everyone had or if it's just one that I've said or I've thought, and please tell me if I've said this or if you've heard it.
I tend to remember these things.
I know, that's why I'm relying on you here, David.
Dave's got a good rememberer.
Oh, he's got like the biggest memory span biggest memory I've ever met on someone.
You have a bigger hard drive than my computer.
Dave, will you fix my deep?
That's like the biggest compliment you could have ever given him. I hope you know that.
I just got a new one too.
Did you put it in the hole?
Someone else put it in the hole.
I'm not gonna fix your computer.
Dave, can you fix my computer?
You don't put it in the hole. You don't. Anyway, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
Took a hard left turn.
Yeah. Somehow.
A hard drive left turn.
Oh!
Hey, IT glasses for everyone.
I'm the only one wearing glasses, fucker.
Anyway, so Meg, what do you got for us? It's the Madison theory, right?
What?
That
they're taking.
Let's let her talk.
You were about to say it, and then stuff happened.
They're using Madison's. If they're using Madison's evil storyline on Strand now.
What do you think about that?
I had heard rumblings that Madison would be a big bad, but this was like way back when she was still on the show, right?
Yeah, when she was on the show, she was ultimately supposed to become the big bad. I don't know if it was going to be in the initial roadmap. I don't know if that was how she was going to end it or if she was going to be redeemed. I don't remember. They didn't really get that far.
Okay.
But I feel like now that she's not here anymore, which I'm not saying she's dead or alive, I'm not saying it. But I feel like they're using that storyline for Strand now.
Yeah.
Also because with Coleman's personal life, with all of his, movies and everything, and obviously his success is so earned and so deserved, I feel like it's kind of going to be his way out.
I feel like this role suits Strand so much better than Madison, too. I'm not a Madison fan. Like, I didn't really care for her. That's not a secret. But I never really saw her as a villain either.
Right.
So that would have been hard for me to wrap my head around.
I kind of want to get into this whole Strand business because I did see the only reflections I did see of Madison was in the Lagavulin battle, like bringing that back and serving that up to Will. And I was just kind of like, I noted that. Now, here's why I have to dial it back, this is how much of a remember I am. When Coleman brought it up on Talking Dead, he kind of forgets the significance of the bottle, in a sense. This is during the episode where he and John Dory are trapped on the little island with the ranger station and stuff like that.
Blackjack.
413. We just watched it.
We did.
See, you remember names, I remember concepts. So Coleman kind of forgets the significance of it because earlier on in the season, Madison is telling Strand and Naomi at the time the significance of some of their travels between the dam collapse and then, and how they went to the Lagavulin factory and that was a great day and like that whole thing. And like in that episode, and he's talking on Talking Dead, he just doesn't remember the connection. So like when I see it here in this episode, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, remember when he and Madison had a great day at the Lagavulin factory? And then and then I had a simultaneous thought like, oh, Coleman kind of forgot about that. I hope the showrunners didn't forget about that or the writers, because then you can either say the writers are in control and they know what the hell they're doing. And they're either like dropping some Madison nuggets or a simple Easter egg to kind of remind you, oh, he likes this whiskey, the Scotch whiskey. Yeah. So I was trying to give you a little hope, but also yanking it away, Meg. So.
He also kind of mentions Madison at the end and doesn't say her name, but mentions her in context when he talks about all the places that he's seen that have fallen short for love. And it's Madison at the stadium, Virginia at the dam, Virginia at Lawton, and Morgan at the dam.
Yep, and even further back, like there's things like the dam that blew up. Oh, Teotihuacan with the autos and stuff like that. I compromise. Madison's like compromising herself on two sides to protect her kids, and it ends. And in either case, it just ends up blowing up in their face, sort of. So yeah, in every single instance. Oh, even the Abigail. If you look at the Abigail from the first few seasons, yeah, same thing. Yeah. I think he like just ends up violating his own rules just to kind of like go with the flow. About like, oh, he had all these rules about from when everybody started coming in. He's like, no, don't do this. I'm the captain of the ship. Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
And for as long as possible, everybody kind of followed his word until they didn't. And then he kind of like, well, I guess I can't rule by fiat. Oh, good callback, because now we're here ruling by fiat. Well, as far as my impressions go of this episode, I happen to really, I feel more sure about loving this episode than I did World Beyond's season premiere of season 2. I liked the World Beyond season 2 premiere. I didn't love it. I was just like, okay, all right, I'm cool with the cold open. I'm cool with the soft sell. Okay, I see what you're doing. Second episode comes around. Oh, this makes a lot more sense now. But then you go back to Fear the Walking Dead season 7 season premiere, and I'm like, I like this. They're setting the mood just right. Ever burning candles called trees. The lighting's just right, like Rachel was saying. Like, oh yeah, desperation is in the air. It's one thing for like a season premiere to kind of go in guns blazing and action's happening. It's like a heist, like kind of like The Walking Dead's been doing for the last couple seasons. You start off with a heist and then kind of get things rolling. Fort Connors and then DC when Rick and crew go down and bust in that museum and they try to get shit to be.
I even had an issue with the heist episodes.
You had an issue with the heist episodes?
Okay, I love when
everybody loves heist episodes. What's wrong with you?
Wait, bitch, wait. I love when shit hits the fan. I love that, and I love action-packed stuff. It's just like it had to be a heist. It couldn't just be right? Like an attack. Yeah, it's like a cheap. Yeah. It's a cop out. Like there's 1,001 different iterations of what you could have done. You could have had an attack on Alexandria again. You could have done anything. Like what was it? Season 6 when they were trying to use the trucks to funnel the walkers. Mm-hmm. Like, you could have, that was genius, and I wish we had done something like that again. But no, it's a fucking heist.
Everybody loves a heist. Yeah, I know what you're saying. In fact, the reason why I remarked in the way that I did to season 11's premiere of The Walking Dead is because it's like, okay, we're doing this again. And I didn't hate it. I'm just saying, I'm noting that they're kind of doing the same thing again, only
it's repetition.
Differently. Yeah. Which is it's not a bad thing. It's like, okay, it's smart. If you want to do the right thing, if you want to get people watching and going, okay, that's how, but see, that's the thing. That's how you do a premiere. Like you're going to try to impress the most people, most of the time. And people like us that notice filmcraft will be like, okay, we're doing this again. That's okay. I mean, it's not bad, but it's, we did this already, didn't we? But my impressions are, because I'm like a child of the Twilight Zone. I grew up on that. It blew my mind, that kind of television, taking time to absorb a fact or staying on someone's face to get a mood and not trying to hurry through a scene and like that West Wing dialogue, that Sorkin dialogue where somebody says something and somebody said something over that. That's not natural to me. And so when you get to see this organic, and look, the lighting is nothing but organic and it's not supposed to be, but like the people, Will's desperation was great. Whoever did the directing for this episode, I'm too lazy to look it up, but the direction on this episode was really, really good. It's like they knew exactly how to get Will to tether us to his mood. He was like our avatar into this new, disgusting, weird world. Who is the director of this episode?
Michael
Satrazemis? Okay. Balls to the walls, Satrazemis.
Oh, I thought...
You heard it here.
I thought all the seasons were directed by females this season.
That's World Beyond.
That's World Beyond.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
It's all directed by Isha Tyler. Just kidding. Even though
I'm sure she did at least one of them.
She will be showing up as a character.
Yeah.
Michael is also directing the mid-season finale, episode 12, and the finale.
Of course.
Ooh, good for him.
Mikey's awesome.
Mikey's the best.
Mikey is awesome.
He is like a success story too. To listen to his story over and over again, I can do it. I can totally do it. Just starting off as a camera operator and then moving on to directing.
Well, look at the new showrunner for Tales of the Walking Dead.
Channing Powell.
She started out as a fan and now running the whole show.
Wait, she started off as a fan of The Walking Dead? Mm-hmm. I thought she had some. Well, she does have producer cred. I mean, yeah. So
I was reading the interview with Kristen Acuna, and
she did. She did a bunch of things before that, but I see what you're saying. I totally see what you're saying.
In regards to the universe, the Walking Dead universe, that's how it started.
Yeah, she just kind of fell into it.
Yeah, that's how I fell into my career. Okay, so I can't remember if they talked about this in like season 6. Obviously, watching it on AMC Plus, you get more insights than if you were to watch it on Sundays when it actually premieres. What is the reasoning behind them saying that the sword is from the 19th century?
I can't remember. The War of 1812. So
was that it?
I did some research on that. I
knew you were gonna hook me up.
You and me both. High five.
We talk about the Texas Revolution.
Pushing against Santa Anna.
As a matter of fact, Strand mentioned the twin sisters, so I was doing some research on those. They were a pair of cannon that were used in the Battle of San Jacinto and essentially won the Battle of San Jacinto, which led to the end of the War of Texas Independence, which gave Texas independence from Mexico.
Mexico, yep.
No. The twin sisters were foundried in Cincinnati, and they were given as a gift to the Texian. They were called Texian, the Texian army. Before they were sent to the Battle of San Jacinto, they were sent to Galveston Island on a boat named the Pennsylvania.
Shut up.
Get out.
Get out of here. That's freaking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. What are the chances?
And a woman wrote an editorial later on saying that the cannons were named after her and her twin sister. And this was like in 1890, so she was very old, and it was well after the war. And she said that they were now laying at rest in Galveston. That's where the cannons ended up, was in Galveston.
I just thought of a really dirty joke.
Okay, then you might as well get it out of you now.
So nowadays, some people say, "Look at those melons." Back then, look at them cannons.
Oh my gosh!
Look at them twin cannons! Holy shit!
The twin sisters.
What was even more interesting about that, the twin sisters themselves, is that they didn't have actual cannonballs to actually use. What they did...
No, the guys had the cannonballs.
Look at them twin balls that weren't there.
I don't know what's wrong with me tonight.
That's staying in too. Anyway, so what they did instead, so this is how scrappy the Texian army is. This is Sam Houston as governor and everything. They gathered up like musket balls, utensils, glass. They just threw anything that they could in these twin sisters. Because they had the thing. They were gifted the twin sisters.
They're just shoving everything inside the sisters.
But they didn't, they kept shoving random things inside the twin sisters.
Oh my God.
And then blowing them up.
Oh my God.
No.
They
blow them.
And
then they're blasting the twins everywhere.
And then they just blasted all over.
Everywhere.
Blasted all over everyone.
One could call it ammunition bukkake. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, that might get cut out.
We're getting canceled.
Responsible, and I'm not even sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
But I just thought that was interesting. You had these expensive cannons, but nothing to fire with them. So you just fired everything you could at Santa Anna and his forces.
Will this fit in the sister? This will fit. Shove it in.
Is it small enough? What?
The man that he was talking about, George Hockley, his name was actually George Washington Hockley.
Oh.
And he was the Secretary of War under Sam Houston.
When Texas was like a independent
right after they won their
country
independence from Mexico. But if you notice, Strand is wearing very 19th century garb. He's got the little hat and all that. Yeah. And I just think that they're trying to say that he is now independent from everybody else. The war of independence, and now he is very independent from
very
everybody.
Lone Star State, which is why they're called the Lone Star State. They were founded as to be like a supposed separate country from America. They
were. Yeah.
Right. They know that they could have let alone. But joining the Americas was kind of like, hey, we believe in what you believe. Okay, yeah. And now Texas almost regards itself as more American than America. So,
The United States.
I'm not agreeing nor disagreeing. I like some Texas, but still.
Texas is still kind of their own country.
Yep.
We're not going to get into that.
Which is why Howard goes, Democrat.
Yeah.
When they're talking about the senator.
Hey, you know what? That might be a great point to continue on to, because Howard perplexes me. I couldn't read him even properly before the season ended, and I can damn sure not read him now.
He gives me such the heebie-jeebies.
I don't know how to feel about him. He looks like that demon henchman in every bad guy movie, where he's just switched off and just, hey, so what do you want me to do about this? Oh,
wait a minute.
Okay.
I just thought of something.
You look like me when I think of something.
What if he double crosses Strand and he kills Strand and he winds up being the big bad?
Makes sense.
He was the mastermind all along. He's got the attitude for it. He's got the mentality for it.
To Will's point,
I do think Howard is a very smart guy, and I say that because he's survived this long. He's doing something right. He was not
or a whole lot of wrong.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, look at Strand. Yeah, and you know what? Actually, more to what you just said, he wasn't shook at all by what Victor said to him in 616. He lied about who he was, and he got up in his face, and Howard didn't really seem bothered by any of it. So
that's what I'm saying.
I think there's more. I think Howard's got layers. There's more to Howard that we haven't seen yet. I think he might be pulling a Eugene right now, staying close to this enemy, and if he sees an opportunity, he may take it. I agree with
how it can benefit him.
Yeah. I think Howard is the one who's actually running the place. Strand is just the guy that's telling everybody. He's the figurehead. Remember we were talking
the Hilltop formula?
Yeah.
Hilltop, where Gregory, but it wasn't.
I'm picking up the scraps you're leaving me.
Right. So I feel like Howard is the Tara.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could see
And
that.
before Tara the Jesus, and before Jesus the Maggie.
Tara.
I can see that.
Sorry. The second in command is really the one in charge. And it kind of shows
Which
in this
is
episode.
why Strand is able to leave.
Okay.
And Howard is still there.
Well, also think about it from a production standpoint. The director is the one behind the scenes, but the producer is the one that does all the work.
I thought it was the opposite, but I don't know.
Trust me when I say it's not. He wrangles the crew, he wrangles the talent, he coordinates things, which is all stuff that Strand's doing.
Oh, okay.
He's coordinating everything by telling him what to do, in a way.
Yeah, and maybe that's the way Howard wants it. Maybe Howard knows himself. Look, this is wild speculation right here, but maybe Howard strikes me as that sort of something we've mentioned a lot recently, which is the Gavin role, which is I'm okay with middle management. I'm comfortable here. As long as I'm being effective, but don't have to do too much or have to make the tough calls, I'll do whatever. I mean, maybe in that sense he's kind of worse than Gavin, because Gavin seemed like he had a conscience. This is the differentiation. Because Howard just seems to be, yeah, I mean, I'll do it, whatever. Cool. Hey, you want me to get that photo of Walker Will?
Yeah.
No, we got it earlier when he was alive. Oh,
Yeah.
in case people missed it.
It did.
Because by the end of the episode, you're like, oh, I guess he doesn't care anymore. I guess he really doesn't care about, he's not really doing this for people that might grieve. No, this is victory trophies. Or he's taking pictures to make sure it's not Alicia. Either way, they took a picture of Will earlier. So I don't know the whole, Howard doesn't know that.
I thought he was taking that picture of the walker that they just killed. I thought you were talking about when
They
the scouts
shot him.
found him.
Yeah. They shot a walker
the
that was
walker.
just about to get Will. I thought they were taking a
And then
picture
they
of the
took a picture
walker.
of the walker.
You know what? But inadvertently, they did take a picture of him in the process. I think.
I mean,
it seems like, right?
he definitely reacted to the flash. So, it was in that direction anyway. But
It's a cross between a Wall of the Lost in the Commonwealth and the head smashies at the Saviors.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. At the satellite station she's referring to. There's a lot to pick apart there. This is the trouble with this episode. You watch it, and it's really mood. It's a mood.
Yeah.
The thing that we have to kind of focus on a little bit is Will's timeline. And I get it now. For the people who aren't clear about it, because I wasn't at first when I first watched it, the Franklin Hotel seemed like a bunker for politicians, which is what Teddy says in the season prior. It's a bunker for politicians and bigwigs and stuff like that we found as a result of losing the holding. Again, season 6, for people who don't know, was every episode was like hops and skips of timeline jumps, like weeks at a time. So in the time that they lost the holding, they found this place of people who, 128 people apparently, who had lived there since the fall. So like, whatever it is, 5 or 4 years or whatever it is, to where they
No, I think the
I think there was
128 people were the
with Teddy's
followers.
people.
Yeah.
okay.
Because when
Because
Will
he
was
said
there
Senator Vasquez,
and a few other people. Yeah.
right? He said Senator
Okay.
Vasquez and a
Until
few
the
others.
scouts showed up
And
and
then
took
the
them all out.
Scouts came and killed everybody, and then
Yeah.
Teddy's people came in.
And there was
Okay.
128 of them.
Yeah. Teddy's people, the one that massacred and all Elias Vasquez's people, while Will was in the maintenance ducts or whatever.
Right.
It was.
He was hiding while
Okay.
they were killed.
Well, either way, he was there until then for quite a while. Kind of like Nora's building in a way, right? If you think about it, like, they managed to make it for a certain amount of time.
Well, and we know he was there long enough to establish a relationship with Alicia, see her leadership skills, learn from her. I mean, that doesn't happen quick.
Right. Which, okay, good that you're bringing this up right now, because I just seen a Reddit post based on some of these facts that states that as a result of whatever's going on right now, we may well be up to the point where Rick blows. I don't know if I believe this, but let me know what you guys think. We may be at the point where Rick blows out the bridge in season 9.
I saw that post.
I don't know that I believe that. I really do think we're further along in the timeline than just that, to be honest with you. But what do you guys think about that?
Fear has to fill in that 6-year gap.
Right. Are you talking about the main time jump, the big one?
How long after All Out War was the bridge?
That's the thing. I know it was a couple months, or at least, sorry, it could be about a year, maybe plus.
I think Morgan has been on Fear for way longer than a year. So
It feels like 2 years since Morgan left for Texas, because of the main show time jump after he leaves. And then you go into season 9. And then some people will say, because if you go backwards and try to scale the time jumps between episodes in season 6, and then you go even further back and try to estimate the time of the fall from Samara's videotape from the Althea tapes for when the fall started up until that point, and then you could sort of extrapolate exactly when it happens. You could say 4 to 5 years and be a good by the end of season 6, so probably 4. I'll break even and say 4 years into the apocalypse when the nuke hits. Because in all that war ends 2+ years in. You have a little bitty time jumps of maybe 3 years. So where the bridge falls, or maybe even 3.5 years.
I will argue that all day. All Out War happens way farther than 2.5 years into the apocalypse.
Oh, when do you think? This is a first for me. We've been doing this for a while.
Well, all of my timelines since the beginning of time are based on Judith. It all revolves around Judith for me.
It really does.
So she is maybe 3.
She's like
maybe
2.
3 years old.
No, she was like she was like 3.
Yeah.
That's what I say. She's 3 when Rick is about to leave the show. That's what I thought, because she seems more like a 3. She's a little bit more vocal.
It was at least a year into the apocalypse before she was even born.
Correct. 100%
Yeah,
correct.
I can dig on that.
It was 6 months in when the pilot started. 6 months in.
Oh, what?
You mean
I didn't know if it was
wait,
6
you mean
months.
6
No.
weeks?
I thought it was
You mean
3.
6 weeks?
6 weeks, excuse
She
me.
meant 6
Oh,
weeks.
6
okay.
weeks. 6 weeks, excuse me. I know.
We almost
then-
committed
I got
a Walking Dead faux pas.
I got you.
Thank you.
I got you.
In that 6 weeks, Lori and Shane started hooking up. We don't know exactly when in those 6 weeks she got pregnant, but still 9 months plus 6 weeks. That's 10 and a half months. So basically about a year into the apocalypse, she was born.
Right, plus the time from the prison until they get to All Out War.
Right.
Because I consider All Out War itself, which most people agree with, that took like about 2 weeks, period.
Oh,
the
yeah.
All Out War was a span of 2 weeks, which is
Maximum.
amazing to me.
Maximum.
Anyway, so 2 years kind of does track, in a sense. The time it takes to get to Terminus, to get to Alexandria, to be in Alexandria for however long they were in, and then to watch it fall a couple times. And then the Saviors. And then she kissed me. All I'm basically trying to say is this. Do you think, let's just say based on all this nonsense garbledy-gook that we didn't really resolve, do you think that maybe we're at least at the time of the bridge or beyond? I feel like we're beyond the bridge.
I think we're beyond it.
We got to be 2 years past All Out War.
I would have to say we're past the bridge explosion.
We can't be too far gone, right?
Dude, you can't even get me started on timelines because the show will be over.
Nobody wants to
my
take
brain has
nobody wants to own a position on
my
this one,
brain
a
has
stake ground.
checked out. Like all I can think about are timelines now.
One of the big reasons why I don't think it's this way, this is the case, because of what you said. She has to have built a relationship with Will over a course of time, and enough time to basically say, hey, you screwed us over, you're gone. And then 50 days, so that's like another 2+ months. What was the course of seasons 4 through 6 just on a standalone? I think to me sounds like at least a year and a half, and then a couple of time jumps to the end of season 6. So like 2 years at the very least. And Morgan left The Walking Dead at the end of All Out War, plus a couple weeks in the aftermath, because you see the Sabers rebuilding. So you're talking about, okay, maybe you're... So it has to be over 4 years to me, in my mind. At least from this point, it has to be over 4 years, maybe 4.5.
I'm saying like probably 6. I'm guessing right around 6 years in.
That was my initial guess too, until I feel like I was proven wrong at least a couple times by convincing arguments. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. No, Will won't.
No, he won't.
He saw pavement.
When he was trying to run away from the scouts and he tripped, that was just foreshadowing for later.
Okay,
Sweet.
The 4th season of Fear the Walking Dead begins approximately 2 years after the end of season 3.
Why would they say it like
no,
that?
it's correct. It's correct. Season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead begins 2 years after the end of season 3. Because, in the timeline-wise, because Madison had time to build the stadium.
And wander the earth with Strand for a significant amount of time to go to Lagavulin factory. There's some fuckery going on here.
But there's some fuckery everywhere.
Yeah, that's why I say it's not even worth looking at.
So season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead takes place around October of 2012 to November of 2012.
Which is
based on
2 years and
2
couple
years
months.
into the apocalypse.
Which is a season 4, the beginning of season 4?
No, all of season 4.
2 months.
Season 4 of Fear of the Walking Dead takes place 2 years after the apocalypse. This is actually a really good article.
That doesn't make... Oh, whoa. That doesn't make any sense, because the end of All Out War is 2 years and a couple months because of Judith being born and all that stuff.
Wait.
See? Oh, wait, proviso, they adjusted, updating the records.
Wait,
They
no,
just
I'm
updated
sorry.
now because of what we said on the unedited episode recording.
One of these days, I'm going to literally make a flow chart, and I'm going to turn it into that meme of
No.
that.
I'll save you money, because, well, you're going to have to spend money, because I know that The Walking Dead is going to put out an official timeline that fans are going to...
We're gonna destroy it.
To
We will
death.
destroy that timeline.
No. I proviso here. We're not going to touch it. We're just going to let the world burn, and we'll be in a bunker cleaning out maintenance things, just so that in case
We'll be at-
crazy murdery people, culty people, come in, and then we'll be spared because Alicia will save us. Going back to the point of Will being
we'll
saved in
be at the
bunker.
Franklin.
But what's interesting about Will's journey is like the way he explains the senator thing at first to Strand was that he did something wrong and he got kicked out. But he was really talking about Alicia to kind of like, meld the truth into reality. Like, trying to insert truth with a lie, like, or lie with the truth kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute.
I also am questioning.
Later on in the episode, he explains exactly what happened with the senator.
I'm not 100% sure he did get kicked out.
Alicia's thing? Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about that. That's probably a good place to start. But we all agree that he kind of used his story with Alicia to explain the senator before things, right?
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, because the senator was murdered by Teddy's crew.
That's how you tell a great lie. You use bits of the truth.
Clap, clap, clap. Okay, that's good. We're settled on that. Now let's talk about the real truth, or maybe what possibly might be the real truth.
Just a possibility. I'm not 100% convinced that Will was kicked out of Alicia's place. First of all, I thought the story was kind of weird. He was being very evasive to the questions and like kind of weird with the answer. Yeah, like wouldn't really give an answer, which, you know, could have its own explanation, but I like mine better.
That we'll kind of never really figure out.
We might not ever figure it out, but the only reason...
Maybe
Maybe if Alicia has something to say about... We'll see when we finally see her. But the reason I don't think he was kicked out is because she left a note behind for him.
The Padre note.
Yeah.
Addressed to him.
It had his name on it, too. If it was just a random piece of paper, I wouldn't think anything of it. But it had his name on it. So she, at some point, had to think he was going to come back.
Do you think he's secret... Okay, this is going to be a tough one because... I instinctually want to say no, but I feel like I have to ask the question anyway. Do you think he actually honestly knows what the reference is to?
To Padre?
The Padre reference? Yeah.
He says he does, right?
Not really.
Nobody
he says
knows
it's like
what
a
it
concept.
Oh, okay.
He says it's a place or a thing. Nobody really knows what it is.
But it could mean something better or something. It's a chance to...
some place where we can be better.
Okay. He's got to know something. He's got to know something because why else would she leave a note with just that one word? She knew it would have had to mean something.
Or he must know something, right?
Yeah,
I have a theory.
He has to know something.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so
knew something.
Padre.
Does it have to do with the timeline?
No.
God.
Okay, good. Keep going.
When they first said Padre, my first thought was Padre Island, which is a barrier island southwest of Galveston, about 250 miles. It's very sparsely populated. It's mostly a nature and wildlife preserve, but it was also one of the sites that was considered for nuclear testing. Yes, and it was overlooked.
The South Padre Islands, right?
It was overlooked for the White Plains, New Mexico. So what if there's a possibility that there's not going to be many walkers on this island. There's going to be lots of wildlife and lots of plants and vegetation. And there could possibly be labs or other kind of research buildings since it was considered for nuclear testing.
Yeah.
Because when White Plains, yes, they tested a nuclear bomb out in the desert, but they had buildings and stuff around where they were observing and such. So since it's southwest, maybe the radiation fallout is blowing a different direction.
I had this stupid thought, and because it has to be said now. Padre, Pope. It's just the timing of Pope's death and this series beginning.
I love Sharondy's theory, and I think you're absolutely onto something. But for my own embarrassment, I will share my stupid theory so you can all laugh at me. Padre also means father, and if Alicia's the mother, maybe Will is the father.
You know what? Hold on.
When I heard Padre, I immediately thought dad.
I think she's looking for Father Gabriel.
So not so stupid.
No, I literally thought father.
I thought that as well. Well, not that Will is the father necessarily, but I was thinking of the whole concept of mother. Teddy, she is the mother. Right? Alicia's the mother. That brings it... Because then I got to thinking, what if Alicia ended up just being that role or leaning into that role also? Right? Because he doesn't really say that Teddy's crew isn't with Alicia, that she had rooted them out. You know what I mean? Like, they took over and Alicia happened to be there, and so did Will happen to be there. What happened to them? All the walkers that are near the lighthouse, they all kind of wore those blue uniforms still. So, which gets me to thinking, like, okay, maybe she said, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. I don't know that she had any other choice. Will even says, to the point, she could have been a cynical asshole like you. But she drank the Kool-Aid, and now she's a cult leader. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? Because this was there's some little breadcrumbs here. And if she's making paintings like Derek and showing us trees in the middle of this clean conference room, kind of like in the holding, what is going on here? It's breaking your fucking mind, isn't it?
How they remade that entire set.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm not convinced Alicia put the tree there. And we know she did the painting.
She put the tree there.
But I'm not sure about the tree.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about the painting either.
Well, we know she's a painter, and that's a painting of her.
Which is to say, you're not taking Will at his word that this is Alicia's work.
I think it's
because he says that.
I think she could have done the mural, but not the tree. I'm not sure about the tree.
I didn't hear that part of the mural, but I think they could have brought the tree in when they were setting up, because obviously they set that place up just like the holding.
Yeah.
When they shoved Alicia in the bunker, we thought she was just in like a room, right? But obviously she was in this whole entire bunker, right? Because we were like, oh, how is she going to survive in that room? Well, apparently she got locked in with all the other people.
Yeah.
And they had already set everything up. So I think the tree was there from Teddy's people. I don't think Alicia did that. You noticed there was no walker on it, so maybe Alicia came in and said, "Oh, fuck this shit."
Oh wait, wasn't there though?
Of course, there's no walker. Wait, let me fuck with your head some more. Of course, there's no walker on it because that was the end. She's the beginning.
That looked like a walker on the other side of the mural.
She was following a walker. Yeah.
I meant on the tree.
Oh, on the tree. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Right, but going back to what I was saying, yeah, of course there's no. She is the beginning, not the end. Of course.
Yeah.
Guys, she's the mother. I'm not. Yeah. I'm being obviously I'm being a contrarian.
The tree was dead, and the tree was dead.
Is the tree dead?
I think so, or maybe dormant.
Or in the process
of in the holding there was vines and it was alive, and this one is dead.
So maybe to contrast. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe from old life springs new life, right? Exactly. And of course you're not going to have a walker in what is supposed to be representing life, I suppose. Yeah. But I say that because like in all those years, of course they must have cleaned that up.
Wait, because before Alicia burned the holding down, that was where she was going to go. And they had the fucking tree with the walker on it there.
Wait, where was she going to go?
The holding. Before she burned the holding down, that was where they were going to be. That was where they were going to keep Alicia.
Okay.
But they only moved to Franklin Hotel because she burned the holding down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Alicia was supposedly, according to Will, a leader at that point after a huge span of time. So she must have taken it down at some point. This is why I asked the question, has she drunk the Kool-Aid? You know what I mean? Like she would have cleaned that up in all that time, right?
No, I think she's doing what she said she was going to. She's not going to do what Teddy wanted. She's going to build the world how she wanted, which essentially is what Teddy wanted anyway. Mm-hmm. Whatever she said, he's going to say, that's what I wanted.
Which includes the tree, right?
So she cut the walker free and let the tree die. So I'm not going to be like that.
Yeah.
Well, we're assuming there's a walker there, but
or maybe
there might not have been.
Well, I mean, but why wouldn't there be? Is what I'm saying, because that was how it was at the holding.
Listen, you're not reading into the thing the way I am. Because
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is she was going to be at the holding anyway, and they had the tree and the walker there. The only reason
I see what you're saying.
Is because she burned it down.
Yeah, they would have recreated it exactly.
You know, it was time seemed to be running short.
Damn timelines.
I'm really not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, I guess I'm trying to be in Teddy's brain. Like, okay, because first of all, that he had a backup place to begin with is kind of cool. Like, okay, this guy is really, because again, I'm being impressed with Teddy again. Like he's really figured out like, okay, we need a backup plan. Oh, hey, I heard that there was a place where senators and congressmen, they're all hanging out in this bunker. We found this place. We kicked the shit out of them. They're all dead and mulch outside.
Riley found that when he was reading some books trying to find a place after she burned the holding down.
Yeah. And again, time jump. So they were in the school in the meantime and blah, blah, blah. You know, the whole thing. But even then, it seems like they only just got everything together and they were just about to move everybody in. And so maybe they didn't have enough time to get a walker that would just, get stabilized inside. It doesn't really matter in the end. It was the tree itself was still there. Why didn't they do something with it? Reuse it for mulch or whatever? No, it seemed to stay there. And it almost seemed like it was the centerpiece of the room. But why? Why is it still there? That's all I've been thinking about. I bring this up because you don't really know. You're assuming because it's Alicia, right? It's Alicia. It's our girl.
Well,
but then a nuclear bomb
why
went
didn't
off.
She paint it? Why did she paint the tree?
I guess it's not on their list of essential items. I guess I don't know.
Things like that.
No one's gone until they're gone.
Actually, then that would fall in line with her character, and yet she didn't paint the tree. So that's my point. It's like you're in this space where you're like, is she the mother? Is she not? I say this because we want to say that it's our Alicia, but now I'm thinking if Strand is going full reversion, is Alicia going full reversion, or is she going through the looking glass? It looks like she's going after the walker in the mural. And the mural itself, I think Sharon would appreciate it. The background of the mural looks like an infinity symbol. Mm-hmm. Alicia's on the left. Ooh. And then the walker's on the right. And now there's a screenshot,
it was like
obviously.
A hurricane.
like a season 4 Hurricane key art. Yeah. But still, and that would be fitting too if you think about the way Alicia paints too. Like you paint what you know, right? It's another Walker-nado. The only thing I have to say about that, though, just because that's all I want to really think about at this point until you guys say something, is once they find the note, it says Padre, they all sit down. After the commercial break, you see Will on the left underneath Alicia, and you see Strand on the right underneath the Walker. And I thought that was a very interesting foreshadowing of like how, oh, this guy's in this camp, this guy's in that camp. But then as they start talking, I start realizing a little game we like to play on the show is Will real? Because you start to see that Will is literally saying the thing that Victor is thinking or experiencing or feeling. The only difference is that he comes to a different conclusion, but at the same time, he's saying the things that I feel like like, hey, Will, stop reading my lines, Coleman says, or the actor, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. It's like, stop reading my lines. Is Will real, right? But he is real and whatever. I know that, but this is an exercise. Will is will, as in willpower, or will, the force of will. Strand, history goes to the victors. Oh, okay. But yes, it makes sense. It's funny. But I like that little juxtaposition. So are we foreshadowing? I don't know. None of us really would know what Padre is. None of us really know what this painting means yet.
The tree still being in there could simply serve as a reminder to Alicia.
To not be
like
way?
Teddy. Huh? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you keep things like that around, even if it's tough, just to remind you what not to do. Don't go down this path. Don't be like that.
Oh shit, man! You know what? Okay. While I was watching the first time last night, and I'm like falling asleep and shit, Will asks for the St. Christopher medallion back. Mm-hmm. It happens to be under Victor's glove.
He's holding it
close to his skin, right? Yeah. And so, but I thought to myself, I went a little deeper, as one does.
Because we make deep.
Right, we make dip. Here, have some dip.
Have some deep.
I remember the whole reason why Victor started wearing gloves to begin with was as a result of season 4. Mm-hmm. He gets his hand burnt in the fire during the stadium collapse with the oily walkers rescuing Alicia. And so he has this scar to remind him, instead of the pebble from the dam, trading in scars to remember the good person that he was. He has this permanent reminder of this good person that he is now from saving Alicia. And here we are with the possibility of him, quote unquote, saving Alicia just outside the lighthouse. Like, oh, a man doesn't rush into the fog or the fire to confirm that his friend is dead. He rushes into the fog or the fire to save his friend. So I just like that little parallel, the little reminder. Oh, this is a reminder for when I saved Alicia from the fire. Oh, this is a reminder, the St. Christopher medallion right near the skin where I burned myself when I saved Alicia from the fire. I like that. There's like layers and layers of poetry that, ooh, delicious. I did want to ask one question as a result of this, though, because Will says out loud, that's like the second time he tried to kill me. And then he proceeds to try to kill him a third time. And we know the instances that he's speaking of. Okay, throwing him out into the cold after not really being satisfactory questions, almost killing him where Will used to sleep in that truck with the lined sheets and stuff like that, and after being shot. And then again, here in the stupid lighthouse, almost getting killed a third time for trusting Victor for a second. And then I wonder, like, why doesn't Will kill Victor? Why just, because after the world being the way it is, and maybe it isn't on the level of The Walking Dead season 11 where we have Ferals and Daryls and Reapers, oh my, but shouldn't we already sort of be getting there? Or do you know what I mean? Like, shouldn't we be there already? Isn't Will like hip to that? I asked this because I want to just push back and see what you guys think, because I have an idea, but why does Will give Victor so many chances after even saying himself a second ago, oh, after seeing you today, I don't think she would recognize the man you are, and this is definitely not going to get me in with her.
Because taking a dead Victor to Alicia would not get Will the acceptance that he wants, especially since Alicia did not see Victor in his current state. So if Will just brings Victor, Strand back and he's dead, Alicia doesn't know that. She's like, hey, you just killed my friend or my mentor. It's
kind of funny you said that, because it kind of parallels how the episode ended. She was saying, like, if Will took a dead Victor, it wouldn't do anything. Meanwhile, Victor threw him over the edge of the building, and it's Will. Like, now she'll never be, I forget the exact wording, basically, she'll never come down.
She won't have anything to do with me after this.
Exactly.
Which is,
like, that's it.
Is Will real? No, I'm kidding. I see what you're saying, though. But no, I'm not proposing that at all. I'm saying that at this point, like, Victor is a failed project. Why does he even keep keep him alive to begin with. He should just find something else to do, or some other way in, not Victor. So I mean, I see that in that scene he's like leaving Victor to fend off for himself. But then why wouldn't you just get rid of a guy that clearly is after seeing a place like his? And this is am I having my first bone to pick? Oh my gosh, I'm a real boy.
Don't say it.
I feel like I'm having my first bone to pick because after seeing the weirdness in Victor's place, how would you keep a guy like that alive? I'm saying that I have a bone to pick, but at the same time, I think I understand why.
I think Will needed a place to live.
So you think that, okay. If he keeps Victor alive, he might keep his promise of bringing him back?
I mean,
after trying to kill him?
After spending 50 days...
A few times?
After spending 50 days outside, I would be willing to take that chance just for a place to be safe. Yeah, I would.
And he saw the type of meal that he got there, so he knew that it was...
Yeah.
Okay, I can bite. Sharon, you're stuck. I feel like you're stuck.
Don't be Martha.
That's valid, I guess. But I feel like, well, maybe it's the same thing as we were talking about Negan going back to Alexandria without Maggie.
Back to Victor's place without Victor.
Right.
Is that
they wouldn't let him in?
Yeah.
Then we're assuming that he would go back to Victor's place too. So I don't know. And like it seems to me that he doesn't have the Padre note, and had he not kept Victor alive, maybe they wouldn't have gotten there. The thing that I'm probably trying to land on is it says more about Alicia and his time with Alicia, I think. Like giving people a chance. No one's gone till they're gone, right? So maybe there's a little of that in there, but then it also gets me to thinking maybe she is the mother, right? I'm thinking two things, and maybe that's what the mother's supposed to do, give a chance. Like Teddy says, use your judgment. This is the person that lives. This is the person that doesn't deserve to live. And she decides. You know, it's not like you're preordained to be awful. No, now you have a chance. Now that the world is dead and there's few of you left, now I get to decide who lives and who dies. And maybe that's her way of doing that. Again, I'm flipping back and forth between her old values and her possible quote unquote new values, which we have to kind of keep an eye on. Listen, I just don't want you guys to be surprised when it turns out she's a white linen wearing cult leader. Okay? So I'm preparing you mentally for the possibility. And Meg is just like, oh no, I thought we were going to see Madison this. Maybe we will. And then she'll come back.
Alicia's gonna have blonde curly hair when we see her.
That's who's in the painting with Alicia as Madison.
No, remember in the season 3 finale, Sleigh Ride, how Madison was having this like alternate universe type thing?
Yeah, the Thanksgiving Christmas dinner.
Christmas. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
So, okay, let's pretend for a minute that Will was kicked out for not doing the thing that Alicia asked him to do that would protect everyone except for her. Whatever the thing is that he wouldn't do, could that maybe be why everyone had to leave and why they're now seeing Walker Bunker people? Because he didn't do the thing that Alicia asked him to do.
What do you guys think first? Because I just don't feel like, the only reason why I say this is because he sees this and he's shocked. Like, that's impossible.
Mm-hmm. He even says it's not possible.
Right. Even in light of what he was supposed to do or whatever it was that he was supposed to do, and which was a long time ago. Oh, but then he says the walkers were out there a long time. Mm-hmm. So maybe. But then he says it's impossible. So like I'm thinking there's a conflict, there's a brain conflict here. I mean, is Will an unreliable witness here?
We can't say for sure because we don't know what the thing is that Alicia asked him to do that he wouldn't do. But right. I'm just saying it's kind of a coincidence that he was supposed to do this thing to protect everyone, and now some of them are showing up dead.
And you know what, though? I feel I was going to say this earlier, and I kind of want to say this now, and this is maybe another bone to pick, so watch out. My thing is, I love symbolism a lot. I love parallels. I love narrative foreshadowing. I love all of that stuff. But I feel like this Will business is too much symbolism to Victor. I was supposed to do the thing that was supposed to keep everybody safe, but it would have killed Alicia. Like Victor sparing Morgan, but it would have kept everybody safe. Like, oh, I kicked Morgan in the thing to be the hero, but then I ended up shitting the bed. But it's too much symbolism, I think. And I know I'm saying this now, and I know this is making me uncomfortable. Like, because I like it, but I also don't like it on the level of, well, it still has to play with reality. It still has to be something that suits a grander narrative that makes sense literally. Too much symbolism can be bad for you. It's too much breakfast cereal. Okay, you can't live on cereal, people. It's too sugary. It's not a good diet. I know it says it's a balanced breakfast, but they're lying to you. And I'm pulling back now because I'm like, okay, it's guys, Dave. Dave, it's just the first episode. They're going to reveal some truths later on that make total, like just like in season 6, they're going to reveal some truths later on that make sense of the events of the first episode in a way that is not figurative or narrative wise cool, you know? I say this because like I like it a lot. I just want it to make sense. And I want to know more about Will. And they gave us so much. And they showed us his journey and his pain and his desperation. And it just sucks to see him go. And it sucks that I want it to be something that we actually get to see echoes of later on. Because I thought his performance was so impactful that I kind of want it to stay or just echo a little longer.
It's kind of funny you said that because I looked and he's confirmed to appear next episode. So I think, and we're confirmed to see a bunch. Exactly. Because we're confirmed to see Alicia, June. So I really think we're going to get that flashback.
Instead of jumping in time like in season 6, we're going to be probably retreading. We're going to be going back. And
even if it's just even if it's just one scene, we're going to have at least one flashback scene next episode.
What if we're like sort of in the middle right now of the season? Chronologically, if we're painting out a season as is, we're in the middle of it, and then they go back in time. And then by the time the mid-season finale comes around, we'll be caught up to the events of the first episode. Right?
This
is what I'm thinking.
Go back to that ugly color grading.
Well, no, it'll still be a nuclear holocaust. It's just instead of it'll be like now. 50 days ago.
Like maybe not. More than 50 days. Maybe next episode we'll go back to when the bombs fall.
Yeah, I was just throwing out a round number because that's the number that they said on the show. And sometimes you know how it is with shows. When they drop a number, it's not insignificant, right? Or they dropped a fact.
He purposely made sure to say 50, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying that's not insignificant, but like the idea holds true. It's like, okay, maybe we're in the middle now. We're just seeing Victor break pretty bad, which does
actually. I theorized that in season 6. I was like, oh, we're gonna, because it was the end is the beginning, and I was like, oh, we're gonna start here, and this is the end, and they're gonna go back and show us the beginning. I was right.
Let us talk a little bit about Victor and his Breaking Bad moments, because you guys were very, very well. Like Rachel said in the beginning, Rachel was happy to see Victor finally lean into this bad guy role. I want to go to Meg next because she was an OG. You are an OG preferred fear watcher. So how does it make you feel to see Strand go this bad?
There were droplets of it even back in his first episode, like when we first met him and Nick.
Acceptable droplets.
Acceptable droplets, but they've been sprinkled out more and more, like with him and Daniel on the bridge or at the dam.
Right.
Everything he did, like with the Abigail, once we got off the Abigail. So it's been coming along this whole time. I think if he didn't show any of the characters, they showed it in the beginning, then they drifted off and came back, I would have been like, what the hell?
It's hokey, right.
Exactly. But we've been leading up to this for 7 years now. So, like, somebody like Strandy, for example, who kind of came in late to the game, you're catching up, you're going to feel different about it than how, like, I do and how others do. So, I'm actually really curious to hear your take on it.
I met Strand in season 4, and he was all about trying to be the good guy. I mean, I'm really not entirely surprised in this direction.
I think I took you for a loop. Oh my gosh. I'm proud of myself.
Well, I mean, look, Strand is not one of my favorite characters. I don't really know a lot about, I know, I just don't, he's not somebody I think a lot about because he's just not one of my favorites, But, I mean, I wasn't surprised to see him go totally bad, especially after the end of last season. I'm okay with the character going bad if it's organic. And I feel like after losing John, June could have gone in that direction very easily.
Yeah.
Also, this theory was well before she went back to forgiving Dakota and all that bullshit.
But
and Morgan won.
That would have been too obvious if she took that route. It would have been way too obvious.
I guess in a way.
Strand?
Well,
Strand too.
The reason I say it with June, the only reason I say it is because it's the scorned widow. How many times have we seen that?
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, I'm not talking about in the Walking Dead universe.
But you're saying tropey. Yeah, in a tropey sense. Sure.
So I'm actually really glad
hath no
they
fury.
didn't. Hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned. I'm so glad they didn't take that route. But I'm glad that they, how can I put this, dip their toe into it, so to say.
Yeah, they showed her go dark a little bit.
They did. So there's a possibility of it happening down the line. But not like Strand, where each season it got worse and worse and worse.
That's kind of where I want to go next, because for my part, and this is the interesting thing about where I'm at, because as some of you may or may not know, I like Strand. I really do see the pain, and you get to see a little bit of it in his eyes when Will mentions that he was supposed to do something that would have saved everybody, but then it would have hurt Alicia, and then you feel the ha 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 Strand voice go kind of like, I know what you mean. And then it slowly starts to relax, and you feel like, oh, I know that Victor. I know that Victor, that's the Victor that was trying to do good. And he sees that by the end of this episode when they're sitting right in front of that mural. He goes, yeah, we'll find her together. And then as soon as he gets back to his lair, he just reverts to his old self again. And he goes, yes, I agree with you. However, I am not going to be that man again. Because as we were saying, talk about parallels again, in the last episode, we spoke a lot about love in the apocalypse. And you guys aren't wrong. You guys aren't wrong at all. Like, that episode has not been released. It will be tomorrow. But it's episode 155. It's our TWD season A finale. See, I know my shit. But we were talking about Daryl and Leah and love, and how every time Daryl's like, oh, every time somebody seems to fall in love, I guess bad shit happens to them, right? And again, not wrong. However, it's like a trap, because if you deny yourself love, it goes the other way. You might make an enemy out of someone. And so when we talk about this sort of thing, like if you deny Alicia's love, are you making an enemy out of her? Even if Alicia is or maybe especially if Alicia is the mother, like, okay, now he's not a righteous person. He is to be smoked, right?
The mother of dragons.
mother of culties. This is the thing. I liked Strand. I liked his trajectory. I liked that he was moving in a direction that was... I mean, look, even last year, he sent Alicia away because he wanted to do good. He wanted to protect her. But then he made it about him come time because...
It was always about him. Don't sugarcoat it. He wanted her gone so he could be stranding.
Calling his guys with guns Rangers. It's all this mangled nonsense now.
Even in season 1, it was always about him.
He's like the Mad Hatter
the group
right
to get
now.
him out. He is the perfect antagonist.
Well,
he's the perfect antagonist.
What you were saying, and would you say that he's a more suitable antagonist than Madison would? Because
absolutely,
he just makes a lot more sense than Madison in some
absolutely.
senses. So,
but from the moment we met him, he's used people to his own advantage.
That's his skill.
Oh God! And then you know what? Imagine he was responsible for all the Clarks dying, and he becomes the ultimate antagonist. He becomes the audience's ultimate antagonist. Because then we can put it all on Strand and not on Ian and Andrew, right? But I think that's kind of genius.
Brain can't compute.
But right, it's kind of genius, right? You're putting on a character what has normally been laid on the shoulders of Ian and Andrew. And so now you're like, oh, but that's why this happened. It wasn't us. Strand was supposed to be the villain the whole time. You got to watch a family die in the apocalypse, and it was all his fault. It was all his fault. No, but it will be because he was just around.
Oh, it's just his
Victor was there.
Just his fault because
he's
he's there.
His presence.
Okay.
Exactly. He keeps screwing things up and then trying to be good and screwing things up, and then he eventually leans in to be bad, and then he kills Alicia.
Like
what the fuck?
Like walking into a horde of walkers with Carol. Just don't stand next to her. Don't be near Victor.
Right. Don't be right. Exactly. So anyway,
socially distanced.
I am sort of joking, but it would be kind of cool if they ended. It wouldn't be cool. It wouldn't be cool. I'm making it clear, Meg.
It would be cruel.
Rachel.
Not
You forgot
cool.
the R.
Cruel.
Yeah.
It would be cruel. Narratively speaking, it would be cool, but like actually, kind of like my feelings towards Victor.
Kind of fucked up.
It makes me feel bad because I liked Victor trying to be good. I liked it when he was gray. I liked it when he was leaning on the side of the angels, but had to do a little, kind of like Carol, had to do a little bad. Oh.
This is why Rachel and I are twins, because we share the same theory about this.
But either way, now you must ask me, hey Dave, do you think Victor is full evil?
Hey Dave, do you think Victor's full evil?
Goodbye, folks. We'll see you in the next one. To be perfectly honest with you, let me explain to you the timeline and the events of what happened between first and second watch. First watch, my heart was broken, utterly broken. I felt so shocked that we lost him. When he threw Will off the roof.
You felt the loss of Victor, not the loss of Will. Yes, correct?
Yeah.
To be clear.
I knew you were going there too, but it makes sense that you would explain that way, because it's kind of like how you felt about Aaron or Jerry.
Yeah.
You felt the loss a little bit of
his
Jerry
humanity
and of Aaron. Mm-hmm. That's exactly how I felt about Victor. He literally was taking his conscience, Will, and throwing it off a roof.
You didn't feel that when he stabbed Sanjay in the leg and threw him into a pile of walkers?
Or when he stomp kicked Morgan into a bunch of walkers? Like, where have you been?
Wait. I'll tell you why. Okay, right. You're going to agree with me when I explain this to you. First of all, Sanjay, when we see weak characters, we're going to be like, oh, I don't identify with that at all. Sanjay, get off me, Sanjay. Right? Okay, let's move on. But even kicking Morgan, there's a confusion there. There's an error processing. You're like, where is this coming from? In a sense, like you kind of know it's there, but you don't think it's going to happen. You feel it coming, but you're like, they're not going to do it, right?
No.
Kind of like the CRM destroying campus colony in Omaha. World Beyond.
The entire time Will was on the roof with Strand, I was like, why are you standing so close to him? Get away from the freaking edge of that
legit
roof. The entire time, I was like, why are you so... Like, no, that did not surprise me. Sanjay surprised me a whole hell of a lot more than him throwing Will off the roof. Yes.
Okay. Well, see, now... This is why I'm talking about this, because there are a bunch of people like me. There's going to be a bunch of people like you, and we need to get the whole mood on the show because.
Excuse me, sir. There's only one of me.
Well, I was pointing to all. That's why I did the hand motion thing for the podcast.
Oh, I just wanted to fuck with you.
Podcast audience. I did this. This. I'm not describing it, but it's something with my hands to describe all of you.
I just wanted to fuck with you.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what we do. We make deep. we make fuckery.
Oh, God.
I felt it. But then on the second watch, part of me was kind of like, okay, you're going to hate me for saying this. I think so. I'm not sure. But how are they going to roll this back? Because could Alicia forgive him?
No, I don't think that's the point of this season. I think Strand's going bye-bye.
Okay.
He'll get yeeted off a roof.
What did you say? Eaten off a roof?
Yeeted.
Oh, yeeted.
Yeet.
What did you say, young whippersnapper?
Okay, Grandpa.
What is a yeet?
What is a yeet?
What is a yeet?
See, this is why you need
Where
me
are
here, because
where are
I
my
teach
teeth?
young... Oh, God. I'm quitting.
They're going to put him on a boat and shove him out to sea, and that'll be the end of it.
The only time I felt bad for Strand is when he was trying to be good, and I kept saying, "Just stop it. You're not good.
Embarrassing
Just stop. I'm so embarrassed for you right now.
I'm so embarrassed for you right now.
Strandish.
Just stop being good. You're not good. You're bad. Just be.
Oh my
bad.
God, it's so bad.
I just want to point out how much of Virginia's
Democrat
style.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to point out how much of Virginia's style he has picked up. Only people who were useful. Calling them rangers, dressing in period garb, because Virginia was dressing in the Old West type stuff, and Strand is wearing the Old War
pioneers,
stuff.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's very
unlike himself.
Very
you could
much,
say
very much taking some of Virginia's ruling style.
But you're saying it in black. Okay, thank you for saying that, because you are saying what I am thinking. There's several things that make me hold a candle still on second watch. And that was one of them, because Victor Strand in the beginning of the show. Now you guys are going to walk with me. I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming to the beginning of the show. What the hell was Victor wearing at the beginning of the show? Tell me. Tuxedo, the highest line of clothing, button-down shirts, fancy glasses, the Abigail, the whole nine, motherfucking dressed to the nine. Yeah, right. Now where are we at? How alien is this Strand to the original Strand? And even the middle Strand.
He's still pretty stylish. I mean, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a whole other bent, but it's not his style that he's ganking. It's someone else's. The Rangers he employs in the tower, Biff's tower, right? Biff and Strand's tower. And Howard. Fine, Howard's tower, whatever.
Howard.
But Biff, Howard, and Strand. So it's not him. He's borrowing this mishmash of weird things he's picked up over the years, mostly recent history. And that's why I'm thinking like to myself, I know it's confusing. And I just feel like he's not himself. Maybe it's the self he wanted to be, but he's doing it in this weird, inauthentically Strand way.
I don't feel confused at all. I think it all makes perfect sense. I know, right?
I'm not familiar with Insensation.
I know exactly where Strand stands. And aren't we all sort of an accumulation of our experiences, the people that come into our life? We pick things up from people. We carry on the things that we like, and we discard the things we don't like. And so he's taking the things that he liked from Virginia in her style and leaving behind what he didn't. The love.
And maybe even taking
what you need, leave what
there
you
go. There you go.
Snippity snap. So I guess he did take some lessons from...
Yeah.
And then maybe
that's what he got from Morgan.
and maybe to that effect, like, okay, even the style that he's ganking now is a bit of Howard, because Howard is the one that inspires it. Between all the historical garb, the accoutrement, that sword that he's using is obviously it's a replica, it's a show, people, it's a TV show, but it's based off of a real artifact that is in a real museum right now. Actually,
awesome,
which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
In the Bullock Museum. That's really that's not really.
I wonder,
George Washington sword. No,
Hockley.
George Hockley. George Washington Hockley.
I wonder how sharp it still is.
Not very, but hey, he's using it. Well, you know what? I'll say this much. You're gonna laugh at this one. It's definitely sharper than the Triceratops horn.
Yeah. It is.
World Beyond reference. You should.
Oh my
listen,
God.
I know we're saying a lot of things that make you not want to watch World Beyond, but you should watch World Beyond.
You should,
and you should listen to this podcast while you do.
So good.
Just grit your teeth and get through the irritating bits, but stick with it.
If you listen to us through your watch, you will have a greater appreciation for the show. We eventually did after every single episode until the end so far. So
until the season premiere.
I'm glad you're straightening it out, but this also, even though he kind of takes the bits and pieces from people over the years, I feel like we are still in a space where Victor is kind of sort of still going backwards. Why do I say that? I feel like he's still not the Walking Dead, the idealized version of himself. And maybe and I'll fully concede that could mean he becomes even more evil, right? Let's just say. I'm not counting out the fact that he could even be the other way, or the way I don't even want him to. And to Sharondy's point, is that what I would have wanted for June? No! It's kind of like now what I'm seeing with Victor. No! But narratively, delicious.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. In the other side of that mirror. Now it's Victor, and we're seeing it. And look, guys, don't be surprised if they try to roll this back, because that's what a season premiere is. You have this misery buildup of this is what the world was like. Oh, I'm about to cry. A walker's about to kill me. And all of a sudden, Victor's Rangers come up and save Will. By the end of the episode, you have this shock. Well, not as much a shocker for you guys, but it is a shocking death. Push for Strand especially. I noted to myself while he was fighting all those walkers, I'm like, I have never seen Strand kill that many walkers / people ever. In one episode, he killed just as many in 6 seasons that he has in this one episode. It's really crazy. He's wielding a sword and then a hatchet and the sword and hatchet, and then he kills the walker behind him with the sword, and then the hatchet goes flying. Have you ever seen him kill things like this? No. It's impressive in a way. And maybe he is getting closer to the man he was meant to be in the apocalypse, but I just don't know that he's done yet. That's the thing. And again, first episode, we don't know where this is going to go. We are shocked into place that he is a bad motherfucker. But then what is the show going to do to say, oh, you think that's bad? First of all.
Yeah.
There could be something else down the road, and that person may even be Alicia. We don't want to say that, but it could be. You transfer that Madison narrative to Alicia, and you got something interesting.
So now we have 2 bad guys?
Yeah, everybody on the show is bad, and then our other good guys are going, everybody else. Everybody's like, what? I don't... And then Morgan comes in, I'm bad too. I'm bad too.
Momo.
Yeah, baby Momo comes out with a knife.
Chucky?
Yeah. Although, okay, so you hopped onto something that I don't think we have the right to talk about yet, but I've been seeing the teasers into the next, the look aheads and all that and stuff. And I feel like I think this is something we did say. We kind of said that Grace could be a leader of this damn settlement before they blew up the world. But we also said in the same breath, I think in the very same episode, that Grace, out of this weird resentment thing and postpartum loss of a child, etc., all this stuff happening at once, that she could be a bad guy. And I am sort of picking that up in some of these teasers, but and now we have this literal trifecta of possible bad guys already on the horizon. Grace, Alicia, and Strand, of all people.
Wouldn't it be fun though if all 3 of those got together, and then we had June and Sarah and I don't know, somebody else, and they were all on the good side, you know what I mean? And we had this...
Funny you should say that.
Have you seen the key art? Civil War.
Have you seen the key art? It's ridiculous. They are literally on different sides facing one another, and you don't know who's facing off against whom. I literally put it on because I'm trying to make the the graphics for the podcast. And I'm like putting them side by side, and on the left side and the right side with Morgan and Victor in the middle facing off against one another. And I'm just going like, what is happening here? What chaos is being wrought here? So I don't know what's going to happen next. I really don't. I'm keeping my mind open.
I think that'll be fun. I mean, I like it when shows do unexpected things. That's why I liked Game of Thrones, because they did shit you did not expect anybody would ever do.
That's exactly what I'm kind of saying.
I like unexpected as long as it makes sense. Like, don't pull something in out of left field and expect me to believe it.
This episode made sense.
Oh, yeah. This is the first time Strand has made sense to me in 7 years.
Well, that's a bit of a stretch.
He's finally...
I disagree.
Strand is finally becoming who he was meant to be.
I agree.
The problem with this show is that we like to talk about high-minded concepts and try to do predictions and say, wouldn't it be interesting if, and oh, maybe this is that. And then sometimes we're right about those things and it's just like, whoa, Ezekiel is the Dwight role or something like that. But then you want to pick on little things like, okay, remember the green color in in season 6, what that meant. Oh, poison running through Willow. And you see that in this episode in the poison woods with the trees burning and stuff. And the blue from the bunker, the bluish green. And you get and when you're in the bunker, then this is what really drives me crazy, is because, oh, this was here from a long time, like 50 days or whatever, however long it was that between the time that he was booted out of Alicia's community and then now, you still see remnants of those box plants. And you're like, oh my God, this is Tony's bunk. This is the holding all over again. So what is going on? Is Alicia running this thing like the holding? What is going on? I'm so scared. I'm so scared. So like all this shit, like all these little narrative hints and colors and these allusions to like different things that we observed in the season just prior makes me think like, what is going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't like it. I don't like these little hints that they're dropping.
Wasn't Strand's title card green?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The little hints of blue and the edges kind of like burning off as they zoomed out.
Very neon.
It's good to bring this up again. Okay, so even taking a little further step back.
It's bright. It was bright because of the beacon shining out.
Yeah,
the beacon was shining out, making everything bright.
Brighter and that kind of bluish, but then it was green in the end. Meg, I don't think we ever asked Meg this. Did you prefer the earlier intro music in title sequence
compared to like season 6 or
let's just say
I actually really loved the music for seasons 5 and 6. This one, I don't know how I feel about
compared to even the OG season. That's kind of what I was saying.
It's been so long since I've watched the beginning season, like the openings from the original seasons, and I can't remember them.
That was it.
That was
it right there.
Yeah.
Talk about something else. I'm YouTubing it. Get back to me.
Okay, this is what Meg YouTubed.
There it is. That's the intro.
There you go. I never liked it.
I don't know how to feel.
Right? See, I never liked the old intro. I like this.
Okay, now I'm watching season 4. After the ad.
See, I have to do it for the podcast audience, right? That's my excuse.
Okay, season 4 I loved. Season 4 is fantastic.
Right. Well,
I liked it in 6 and 6 and even this one they changed the music slightly in each title card.
I never really had the time to actually do the overlay where you line up all 16 tracks. 16 tracks is a good number to kind of see how they play out.
What if there's like a hidden message? And then you gotta play it backwards.
Oh my God!
Cancel Squawking Dead!
Dead because the Beatles record backwards, and you guys are shut up.
No, that reminds me. There was this episode of The Simpsons where Bart joins a boy band and they play this song, and Lisa's like, "Wait, something doesn't sound right," so she played it in reverse.
And it was talking. I remember that.
Like they were singing basically "Join the Navy."
It was "Join the Navy" backwards.
Yes. And it was actually really catchy.
I haven't had to think about that in so long, and now it's
one of my favorite episodes.
Guys, I think I'm going to join the Navy. I don't know where I thought of this from. Weird.
But, okay, wait, can I please talk about my
Me and Riley.
Meg's going to explode.
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, I can talk now?
Oh, wait, here's the first The OG.
I hate you so much. You know, it's funny. My wallpaper on my computer says never quit, but fucking I'm quitting.
Hang in there, baby.
I'm like freaking out right now because I would have already forgotten what I was trying to say.
No, I've been wanting to say this for fucking 2 hours.
I would have already forgotten what I was. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's fucking fantastic the way they showed Will on the ground with the spine sticking out of his back and the blood and everything, because we've never really seen the spine of the walker sticking out. And yeah, I think it's fantastic, and it reminds me of Rachel, and she's gonna. It was so cool.
Oh, I thought you meant our Rachel for a second. I'm like, what did our Rachel? Why is our Rachel dead? Oh,
no,
yeah.
No. It reminded me of what our Rachel is capable of doing. Mm-hmm. Not like killing people, but like her skills.
Her makeup skills.
I thought you meant Rachel from last season.
No, me.
I thought you meant. Okay.
I need to take a sip now.
Man, you got it out of you. That's good.
Yeah.
You put it in the hole.
Well, I had like 30 seconds to get it all out.
Did you?
Sweating now.
I would have given you the floor.
I watched.
I've been trying to get the floor for 2 hours. Rachel, can I borrow that?
Yeah, I got extras.
Guys, just doing the music from my mouth makes me hot. Okay, that sounded differently. Sounded differently in my head. It really
I'm
did.
just saying, what other orifice would you make the music out of?
Well,
if he had tacos,
I wouldn't be able to get the high
have
pitch.
some beans.
You know,
and, it's a musical fruit.
Where's a meal? Where's the hot sauce?
So I'm
Tabasco, Walter.
Yeah, it's just Tabasco.
I'm gonna say this despite how sad it's gonna make me. I watched that end scene the first time through, and then the second time I watched it, I knew better, and I could not look at the screen because Will looked way too much like Glenn.
But it was really cool, though, wasn't it?
It was so cool.
I could appreciate it the first time I watched it, and then it clicked, and I went, "Oh no, God!" And then I looked away.
I can't unsee it.
Yeah, and then I couldn't watch it the second time.
It was so cool.
Wow, that's really interesting. Still get you to this day, huh?
It'll never not be sad.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
It was so cool.
I had to go pull a screenshot last night from the door, and I was like, "Oh, And if you see the parallel I posted earlier, you'll see why I was like, "Ooh."
I did, and I'm just like, sometimes I just wonder why bother? Just it's better. Why share this pain with us? Oh,
misery.
Never mind.
Y'all are gonna suffer.
Misery loves company.
Mm-hmm.
Sons of bitches. Well, call back to season 5, nuclear reactor. Not my first rodeo.
One little thing I noticed is Strand is living up high while Alicia is living underground.
Heaven and hell.
Read what you want into it. It's just something I noticed.
Oh, is there a Hwacha on, on Victor's tower? There should be.
Oh, if Victor had a Hwacha, he would.
Oh, that would be great.
Those nuclear shadows.
What if it was in the background and we didn't see it?
It would be great.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed Strand's use of the walkers to drag.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have horsepower anymore. We got walker power. That's how power measurements. That's how you have to measure power from now on.
So it's the Energizer walkers. They just keep going and going and going.
Pretty much.
It's for walker power, right?
Can I
notice that he keeps calling them walkers too? I just have to kind of marvel on that he's just consistent with that. Anyway, whatever.
The bad guys are stalkers, so we got walker stalkers. I'm sorry that made
walker
me
stalkers.
So
They're walker stalkers.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, just a really small bone. So Strand and Will are in the van, and Strand's like, I'm gonna get out of here and go find Alicia by myself, and he gets out, and his horse is right there, not being attacked by walkers or anything.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh God! Hopefully it ran off.
He got on it. He got on it and rode away.
Okay.
But it was just standing there.
Yeah.
Interesting bone.
When the stalkers attack and the horse is like in between the walkers and they're all shooting and stuff and the horse is just walking in between the walkers.
Moseying around.
Whatever, it's okay.
Yeah. The gunfire or the echo doesn't scare them at all.
Does anybody have any theories about the stalkers? Why do they all of a sudden come out of the woodwork here? I mean, they are obviously nearby because of Will's experience with them, but
what are they doing?
But why?
Why and who are they? Maybe it's Sherry and Dwight. It's the dark horses.
No, they're the dark.
There's
They're
like-
the dark horses.
Right, but we'll name them the stalkers. So we don't know what this group is calling themselves.
Yeah, true.
But then why? Or do they need clothes, or what's the deal with that?
Will was catching and killing and stripping the dead on his, because he was looking to see what they had to eat and what they had in their packs.
But not like literally naked, right? Am I wrong?
don't
Oh, you just reminded me of a different point that I wanted to bring up too. When Will kills the lighthouse walker, aside from the cool effect of seeing the death of that walker in his goggles, when we find out that the map of the general area, like the Franklin and the lighthouse is up there, it gets me thinking that, because you see this in his face as he's killing the walker, it feels like he knows him, right? I know it doesn't matter because Will dies at the end, but like it feels like he knows him. It feels like he knows about this safe place and who this person might be, and maybe he has suspicions that lead into him seeing his people dead and coming after the lighthouse afterwards, right? So he knows this person. There's something going on, and now that I know that we're gonna get to see more of him, like in the past, I'm very interested to see, because it's like a glacier. You see the top, right? But the still waters run deep and all that stuff. So
He did pause before he killed the walker. Yeah. We like froze frame on the thing and like I saw a demon.
You saw the devil? I saw Howard, right? Howard, right?
That map that he has with the lighthouse and the Franklin Hotel, that looks like a map that you get at a campground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when you
I thought the
into a
exact same
campground-
thing.
And what camp?
The font.
And what camp exactly?
Camp
Cackleberry.
Season 5, everybody.
It's funny she mentioned the camp because it's really weird to say this, but the font of the map.
Yeah. No,
That
it's not
was
weird.
really the dead giveaway. That it was a campground or from a tourist spot.
Yeah.
It's not something you just buy somewhere. Like you get this from a
It's
specific
like a
area.
Yeah. Oh,
But
and then-
what got me is the hotel and the lighthouse are part of the same general compound.
Right.
Like some big recreational area.
right.
Also,
Some-
that
the same
lighthouse
hike.
is super far away from the freaking shore.
I was thinking that as well.
Yeah.
But then again, like,
Considering
okay.
It's not very tall. Like, have you seen a real you've seen a real lighthouse. Like, they're really
Yeah.
tall and they're close to the shore. This was just, I think this is probably like something at the campground, like an attraction for the hotel or something. You can go play in this pretend lighthouse, and it has a light that really goes around. But I don't think that's like a real lighthouse.
I have to tend to agree, because had they all been staring at that light, they would have been instantly blind. That's how a real lighthouse works, but not this one. So something to think about.
I live at the beach, so I see lighthouses all the time. So this was definitely not a real lighthouse. It kind of reminded me of, like, like in forests and everything, you have those fire towers. This is what it kind of, like a mixture of both. I don't know if there's like a hybrid thing or what, but it reminded me of that, not so much as like a lighthouse is what you see normally, like by a beach or something.
Well, it could be one of those like fort lighthouses or something like that. It's like, okay, this is generally the beacon to the thing to the, like, I don't know, it's something military related or something like that.
So if people need to wear masks because of the toxic air, why don't the horses?
You know what? I thought about this, and as much as people have a bone to pick with that, I wonder, like, is there a mask big enough for a horse? No.
I've seen.
They did make them in like World War II. They made them for horses.
Yeah,
World
I've
War I
seen
and
'em.
World War II. They made gas masks for horses.
But then, and also the radiation
The accessibility of gas masks for horses.
is just slim.
Where do you find them?
Right,
You know?
and
they're
then
in
also
Texas.
protecting their whole. So the thing is, like, you can pick a huge bone with that, and whatever, it sucks because this is the nuclear fallout, and the only mode of transportation is horses. But like, first of all, you're gonna get a horse into a hazmat suit.
Just a
That's
mask.
got to be a chore, even if they do make it. But then the radiation gets their body and they die anyway. So it's kind of like you might as well let them ride out in grace, like. Right, because there's no other choice.
Again, that's why I said small bone. Doesn't even matter.
We've been thinking about this since the promo photos where we see Rufus out in the wild. It's like, okay, you try getting a dog in a hazmat suit. It's not going to work. They're going to piss and shit themselves while they're in the suit, and you have to clean that up. It's like, he's on his last years anyway. So, no, he looked really old on the show in season 6.
He did.
So it's kind of like, let's just let sleeping dogs lie.
I didn't think Rufus looked that old.
No, he looked like he was like 10.
When he was in the driver's passenger seat, when Morgan was talking to him, it was like, oh, look, I'm
Yeah.
talking to him. Boom, and
Yeah.
then gets hit by the car. I'm like, oh, he looks super old, Rufus.
I was shocked that he survived it.
I was so too. Also,
Small to medium sized bone. In the lighthouse.
checks his pants. What? Because that's where this show's going.
All night.
I mean, I kind of started it in the early hours of the night anyway. No, but when they were in the lighthouse, when he started pouring like the diesel fuel, he's like, "Oh, it's got a 1 in a million chance for it to start." And then of course another trope, boom, it starts like
right away too.
Which of course gets me to think of how that is even possible. And of course, diesel fuel does last a lot longer than regular fuel. Wait, it gets worse. It's a callback to last season because the fuel must have been from one of Ginny's sails. Because this is one of the things we did talk about. Like, what's the point of making all this fuel? Who is it for? What is it for? It's for Ginny, but it was just
the fact that they actually said it. Oh, it's got a 1 in a million chance, and then it works.
Right. But why is it good that you brought it up? It's good that you brought it up because of that factoid.
Because it pissed me off.
In just right amount of ideal scenario, that fuel would have lasted 6 months to a year. This gives us a little bit of an idea of where they are in the timeline. It could be up to a year since the fallout started.
Again.
Well, no. I'm just saying that because it could be like about a year from the time these bombs fell. It could be. So, the fuel is kind of an indicator, even though you don't think it is, and it's a thing that's supposed to go, oh, it's a 1 in a million chance. No, you should pay attention to that.
Is it politically incorrect if I say that when you start talking about diesel fuel and lighting that I really thought we were getting a Hanukkah lesson?
Hey, it is not politically incorrect, and I respect you. We know Ian Goldberg is a Jew, so... and we really know that they brought in some really high Kabbalistic concepts in Ner Tamid.
Use your words.
So I mean, you never know where the narrative is going to come from. So maybe the miracle of Hanukkah.
I mean, we talked about like the Alamo, and we've talked about like Randy went into like a 200-year history lesson, which was rad. Right. We're talking about Judaism and everything, so it's possible.
Yeah, and you were there for that. Yeah, it was great. Maybe that tells us we're in around December, November, because that's when somewhere where Hanukkah happens.
Merry Christmas.
Lunar calendar. It's kind of funny just to think about now. If you watch the episode from end to beginning, we end up at the Franklin all over again, right? Because, why do I say this? Because the first shot is of the billboard leading up to the Franklin. I was like looking at this last night. I'm like, what is this? Was it leave your cares behind? You didn't even see the cares part. Leave your behind. That's all you got to see.
Leave your behind. Fitting.
So, I say this because he's not that far away from the Franklin, which gets me to think Will is sus. And so there's more to Will than we're allowed to see in this episode.
You had an issue when I said yeet, but you can say sus, and that's okay.
Yeah, because people say yeet, it sounds like wheat, and then I get confused.
You old-timer.
I don't know what yeet is. I was being totally serious.
Okay, but Rachel's younger.
When you yeet someone, you toss.
Just to throw them?
Strand. Let's put it this way.
They yeeted him off the roof.
Yeeted off the roof.
Yeah, Strand yeeted Will off the roof.
Okay. Here's
when
an
you
example.
throw something.
When I go to a hotel room, I yeet myself onto the bed, starfish style.
Okay.
When you throw
something with gusto.
Yeah. With gusto. Yes.
With gusto.
Yes. I said that last thing only because, again, this is more signs to there must be something more to Alicia, right? But there also must be something way more to Will. And so I hope we get to see more of that, I think. And I think we will. I think we are in the middle of this story, and then we are going to flip back to how everybody else is doing. And by the time we get to the mid-season, we might be in the same spot we're at now. I guess we'll have to see. Oh, one thing to note, in the future, one of the episodes is directed by Alicia Dedman McCary, so we're going to see some interesting shit.
I am so excited.
Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see Alicia until the end of this mid-season. So
what?
Near the end, I think it's episode 6 or 7.
All that says is that it's about Alicia. That doesn't mean we're not going to see her before then. She could appear in any of these episodes for any reason. The episode synopsis just says Alicia goes looking for help for her people or something like that, but that doesn't mean she's not going to be in any of the others.
Because I heard she's appearing next episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like I was saying, how Will is scheduled to appear next episode, and it's saying that she's not listed as credit only.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Oh, well, I guess we'll have to see in the next one.
Maybe we'll get to see a little bit of what their relationship was all about.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's completely not what he made it seem to be. If you like what you heard, head over to ratethispodcast.com/Squawking Dead. What are you doing? Why are you wasting your life? 5 stars and neckband is all you need to know. All we need to know that you love us. But if you want to do more, you can. Let us know what we got right. Let us know what we got wrong. And rate us after every episode. It really, really matters. And if you really, really like this laughter, head over to ko-fi.com/squawkingdead, sign up, and follow us.
Let's put it this way. The more people that follow, I won't quit as much.
Ooh.
Just follow us. You don't have to tip us. You don't have to join a membership tier. But if you really, really don't want to know what we're doing, if you want to jump in on an episode recording in the real-time chat, or if you want the unedited episode recordings where we're laughing like goddamn maniacs right now, you have no idea. Well, you would if you followed us, but if you tipped us, you get 30 days of access to those unedited recordings. You get access to these live sessions where we get to record with you, and a whole bunch of other perks. But after 30 days, if you decide you want to get a little more money for your honey, or honey for your money, you can join a membership tier for as little as $1 a month. I've been your host, David Cameo. I was joined by Cosmom09, Rachel Burt, Charity, aka Blazy Gardner, and Meg the Geek. Meg the Geek. Let's just keep going. Meg the Geek. And then it ends off with a Good night.
I quit.
Good night, everybody. We all quit.
Bye.
We all quit together, like a family does.
Bye.
We're all quitters.
Look, we're all
here.
on supermarket sweep.
And that's why we're family.
Yeah, exactly. A family that quits together stays together.
Whoop, whoop.
But they quit, so they're just worthless. Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye. Have a good day.